Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and go over another random topic here, which is off topic. But today I wanted to talk about the difference between frugality, like being frugal, and saving time. Okay, so person one, we're going to call him Glenn. So these are all dishes and bowls and things like this. And I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and put some markings on this like this. So Glenn, who is a very frugal person, he keeps perfectly functioning dishes and bowls, even if they look ugly, right? So this is the first person. However, Lisa, what she does is she would declutter them. You know why? Because she thinks they're ugly and they don't look good, even though they're perfectly functional, even though they work perfectly fine. Because they don't look good, she will declutter them. And what she'll do is get basically bowls and dishes that actually work for her in terms of like less aesthetics. All right, scenario two. So Glenn, who is very frugal, well, he goes to Costco and he buys these large, so in this case, we'll just use two examples. So the first example is he buys the large greens and he buys this because it's a great deal. You get this much for like $3 or $4 versus Lisa, what she does is she buys exactly the amount of greens that she usually finishes, which actually costs the same price. So technically, it would seem that Lisa is being stupid because she's buying things like it's costing her more per unit. Another example, let me give you another example. So let's say, you guys all know what Ziploc is, right? So in Costco, they have a freaking 500 pack or like 700 pack of like Ziplocs, right? But what Lisa does instead is instead of buying this much Ziploc, she'll go to Target, okay? And she will literally get a 50 pack because that's all she needs. And so so here's example number 3. So Glenn would rather pay $7 for a 2-hour trip, okay, in a hot, crowded van. This is actually based on a true story, This is based on a true story. And I'll explain this in more detail. Lisa would rather pay $50 for a comfortable, air-conditioned ride in a nice taxi that would also take 2 hours. All right, next example. So what Glenn would rather do is he would buy a whole pineapple to save money. In other words, he'll buy a whole pineapple and he cuts it up, and he basically gets a pineapple. What Lisa does is she prefers the convenience of pre-sliced pineapple, even if it costs more. Right, so the price difference is, it actually makes financially, in terms of frugality, it makes more sense to buy the whole pineapple. In other words, basically, but you got to cut up the pineapple. You got to put it up, and it's one might argue that's a hassle, right? Versus just paying $2 more, and you have the freaking pineapple already cut up for you. All right, next example. So Glenn, he likes to collect and use coupons to save money. He saves $1 here and there. He'll save $2 in there. He clips all the coupons together. He looks at all the coupons. He does some research and saves a few bucks here and there when he shops. Whereas Lisa, what she does is she doesn't bother with coupons because to her, it's a waste of time. And so because she has other ways of making time is more important than all of this. Getting $1, $2 here and there, clipping coupons in the same amount of time. What she does is she can make a lot more money with other ways. All right. So this one's a point of controversy, but so Glenn, what he does is he does do-it-yourself projects to save money on repairs. So basically, he knows how to do his own repairs. He does things. So this includes everything from house repairs to fixing your car to just anything. This guy basically, he does his own do-it-yourself repairs to saving money. But the thing is, by doing that, it takes time, right? So this takes time to do this, but he saves money by doing this. Whereas what her approach is, she would rather pay someone who is faster and more skilled and who can do it more correctly and better than her, saving her both time and effort. So let me give you an example, right? So as an example, for me, let's say there's a house right? It would take me like the whole weekend to clean my house, right? But then if you hire a team of 4 people, they'll clean your house in like 2 hours, right? It's just a matter of like, so to some people, they might view that as like, wow, that costs so much money. But another person might view it as like, this is a person who values the time more than that, right? All right, next thing here. So what Glenn likes to do is he likes to cut his own hair. So, because that saves money. So he cuts his own hair. Whereas Lisa, basically, she's realizing that no matter what happens, when she tries to cut her own hair, it doesn't quite look right, And so what she does is she gets a professional to cut her hair to make it look the best it can. And it's funny, a little bit of side tip on here. I used to be the guy on the left. I would actually get my own hair cut. And then my friends were like, there's a girl. She was like, what are you doing? Like, get a professional to cut your hair. And ever since I actually got a professional to cut my hair, even though it cost more money, it was like, dude, your hair is so much better now. Don't ever cut your hair ever again. And I'm like, okay, you're right. And it's true. But again, this on the left is frugality. This on the right is not frugality. All right, next category. So Glenn, he likes to grow his own vegetables to save money, right? And on groceries, it saves money. Whereas Lisa, what she'd rather do is, because this to her is a hassle to plant the fruit and all this and all that, she'd rather just go to a grocery store and buy it there. So she's willing to pay a little bit more, but it saves her time, right? So what Glenn will do is he will stretch the use of an old vacuum cleaner. Just keep making it work. Keep making it work, patching it together, because this saves money. Whereas what Lisa will do is when she starts to discover that, hey, this vacuum cleaner is just not doing the job anymore, then what she does is she buys a more efficient one. So this costs more money, but she buys a better, newer, more like a better version of this. Now, and finally, a final allegory. So Glenn might opt for a basic no frills hotel room when traveling, versus Lisa, she wants a more comfortable hotel that really enhances her travel experience. So again, on the left, this is definitely much more frugal, but on the right is definitely not frugal, but it's a different sort of mindset.